AfriForum is heading to court to fight the 5-year validity period for driving licenses. The organization believes it is unconstitutional for motorists to have to renew their license cards. This comes at a time when the country's one and only driver's license card machine has broken down yet again. For more on this, we're joined by AfriForum's Ernest Sale. Ernest, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Before we get into the court challenge, does it come as a surprise to you that this very one and only machine has broken down yet again?
Dudu, it really boggles the mind, seeing as it just takes common sense to have the foresight that maybe, just maybe, our government should invest in a second machine to print these very important pieces of documentation. And then also, I really don't think the entire world supply of this very important machine stands at zero. So it really, the only conclusion you can come to is just an absolute zero foresight when it comes to planning for the future and making sure that documentation and the admin surrounding driver's licenses are applied correctly, and that people that have driver's licenses that need to be renewed can actually get this through the process. But that's exactly why it's so important that we appear in court in August, and that's why we think we've got a solid case coming up. Okay,
talk to us about your case, because you're going to the High Court in Pretoria on the 7th and the 8th of August. Essentially, what's your argument?
Right. So AfriForum's application rests on several legal and practical grounds. From a legal perspective, the National Road Traffic Act and regulations are too vague to be enforceable, and then also the legislation does not clearly distinguish between a driver's license and a driver's license card, and it also does not explicitly stipulate that motorists must apply for a new driver's license card when the card expires. It does not even stipulate that it is a crime to drive with an expired driver's license card, and does not prescribe any fine, penalty or sanction. So there's major gaps in this piece of legislation. It doesn't seem to be on any solid ground. It seems to be built on a foundation of sand, and AfriForum has identified these deficiencies, and we think those deficiencies and gaps in the legislation are serious enough to make a solid legal case that there's no basis, as I explained, for these types of license cards to have to be renewed every 5 years. And like I said, if we take the whole context into account, where the machine keeps breaking, there's all types of corruption allegations in regards to the traffic department, there's inefficiencies, there's all types of problems and obstacles that are standing in the way of average motorists that just want to be able to be legal drivers in this country. It's such a basic thing, and the government has proven itself completely unable to provide this basic service, or even have the foresight to be able to buy a second machine. So that's why we're going to courts, and we've got a solid case.
So in the absence of this particular piece of legislation, what then are you proposing? What's the alternative?
So the alternative in regards to what we're going to try to achieve with this court case, among other things, is a declaratory order stating that the 5-year validity period of driving licenses is unconstitutional, and that all fines issued for expired licenses are unconstitutional. We will be keeping the public up to date. Just an important piece of detail: this court case will be in August 2023. So please do not, when you are stopped by a traffic officer, now say, well, I don't need a license. Don't break the law, please. Just be patient. We are going to court for this case, and then as soon as the case starts, we will be updating the public on where it goes from there. But that would just be my last bit of advice to the public, is to be patient until this court case starts.
Okay. You're confident of victory?
Absolutely. I've talked to our legal team as well. They're very confident, and if you want to support AfriForum in our court case, you can go to www.nodriversexpiry.co.za, and you can put your voice alongside ours to make sure that drivers in South Africa can actually drive legally on the road again without all these obstacles that the government puts in their way.
Ernest Sale is with AfriForum. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon.